Hello, everybody. Welcome to our goal setting webinar today. My name is Mary Catherine Tran, and I am the Youth Initiatives Promise Fellow here at NYLC. Beginning, what exactly are SMART goals and what's important? So SMART goals help us to identify a service learning project as well as to develop a progress monitoring plan for achieving success. The question I get a lot is, why are SMART goals better than regular goals? Like, why can't I just say, have my goal and be good to go? But SMART goals really help us dissect that goal and make it a tangible reality rather than kind of a vague notion. So SMART goals compared to other goals are specific, measurable, attainable, achievable or appropriate, relevant, and time-bound. As you notice, it will equal SMART. These five different things will help break down our goal into something that's really, really strong and really able to be a real plausible goal. Starting off specific, clear as possible. So we think about a variety of questions, such as who is involved with your goal. You're going to end up having you join you on your ride and making sure the goal is reality. What do you really want to accomplish? Like, what can you actually say in like 10 words or less what you're actually looking to do? Where will it be done? So thinking about, is this something that's going to happen in your community? Is it happen just with your personal life? Is this just something that is a very, very small thing, or is it going to be a bigger scale? You also want to think about, why exactly do you want to do this? And in terms of that, what constraints or requirements apply to this goal? So this is, I think, one of the most important things to consider is your why. Why is this important? And I think that will really, really help you push yourself to actually accomplish your goal. Two other things to think about are, how will you accomplish this goal and how you make it clear, your goal clear to others. I definitely think when I'm goal setting about, how am I going to be able to demonstrate what I'm learning? How am I going to be able to just demonstrate what exactly is I'm trying to do and get other people to buy in and kind of come along with me? That's specific. Next thing we think about is, how do we make our goals measurable? Your goal should be measurable in order to easily measure progress towards reaching your goal. So there are three different questions to think about when thinking about creating a measurable goal. How can we track our progress and measure the outcome of this goal? How will you be able to, how exactly are you going to be able to tell when your goal is reached or your goal is successful? So and in terms of that, how will you be able to know when your goal is accomplished? So is there a measurable time when you'll be like, okay, so we've been doing this for a while, I reached my goal, or hey, I'm so close, but I still have a couple more things to accomplish. So thinking in terms of that lens, so if possible, how can your results be measured by quantity? I definitely find it really important to think about including an exact quantity, such as how many, how much, etc. So if I'm trying to raise money for a charity of my choice, how much money? How will I know I reached that goal? Will it be $500? Will it be $1,000? Tell when my goal has been successful or when I have not reached my goal. Your next part is attainable, achievable, or appropriate for the A in SMART. Usually people just go by attainable or achievable, but I think appropriate is also important. Your goals should be attainable to make sure that they are ambitious, but they're not reach. I think we definitely want to challenge ourselves with our goals, but having a buddy. So is your goal reasonable enough to be accomplished within the frames specified? So dollars for your charity of choice. Can you get that done in a month? Can you get it done in a week? Probably not. Probably a month would work though. Is it reasonable to accomplish this goal given any other constraints there might be? So thinking about your goal, what are the exact constraints you are they able to be, are they good hurdles to have that'll just make your process more challenging and a better learning experience, or is it just going to completely roadblock you and stop your efforts? About is, if everybody involved agrees that the goal is appropriate. This is a good thing to think about in terms of your group that you're working with. So does everybody agree that what you are deciding to do is appropriate and also attainable? Is there one person that's kind of like, that seems like an awesome idea, but how are we going to get it done? Sure. Professional growth. That's a lot of words, but it's super important. So thinking about the or will it measure consider established. So if you already have a bunch of goals going on and a bunch of ideas and aspirations, is this goal conducive to that environment, or is it just completely in left field? Thinking about how super important. How does this goal fit with your immediate and long-term plan? Important. I especially get involved in only focusing on long-term, and it's really hard to monitor progress that way. So thinking about this, making sure your goal fits with your other goals, and they all have a different time range and different specifics will keep everything trucking along for sure. Last for our SMART goal is time-bound. Your goal should be bound by a specific period of time in order to be more specific and set a deadline for yourself. For a lot of people, I feel like time-bound is one of the most important parts. I think that time-bound, it's easy to be like, okay, I have to set up my things this way, and this way to be successful. For procrastinators like myself, it's good to have a deadline so that I know exactly when I need to get it going and really start progressing on my tasks at hand, which is not a good strategy, but I'm trying to get better at that. So some guiding questions for this particular part of SMART goals are, is there a specific date by which your goal needs to be completed? I encourage everybody to find that date right away when setting goals. Make sure that it's circled, underlined, highlighted in your calendar, your Google calendar, your physical calendar. Make sure everybody knows when you want to do. So is this for example a 12 to 12 month goal? But really thinking about how long of time are you taking for your goal, and is time. Goal and pick a time frame that's pretty short. They work out. Allow the time frame to be so that it was long. It's important also to remember that sometimes we need to have timelines that are more flexible. I myself really prefer to have hard deadlines, but then kind of knowing back in my head, okay, so if there's a sickness in the office or if someone can't make it to a meeting, do we have flexibility to make sure that our timeline can be moved or that our deadline can be moved? I think it's important to think about a hard deadline and then try to get things done a couple days ahead of time, so in case something comes awry or something is not good to go, we have a little bit extra wiggle room for time. But definitely one of the more important things to think about is your deadline. So let's try to apply what we just learned from SMART goals. So this is a sample goal we have. It is, today Lee ran a mile in 9 minutes and 56 seconds. She only runs once a week at our community soccer league. So what we have here is a perfectly fine goal. It's a high school student looking to like improve her times. And at first glance, it seemed okay. What do the S per specific. So what does she want to accomplish? Run faster. We don't know why she wants to run faster. We just know she wants to run faster. Where will it be done? She currently runs for her community soccer league, but we don't know where the goal will happen or where the progress or the practicing will happen. We want to think about, why does she want to do this? What constraints or requirements apply to this goal? I think this is a big part of the meat of the goal. So once you figure out why she wants to do this, the other things will fall into place. Because right now, she just says she wants to run faster. We don't know if it's because she wants to get in shape, if she wants to just be a fast person. We have no clue. All other things to consider are how you accomplish this goal and how you make your goal clear to others. I think, like I said before, having your goal clear to others is important because it kind of creates like accountability, and helps people know why you're doing what you're doing, and maybe you can rely on them for support and rely on them to learn and to grow. So I added a little bit at the end of her original goal. So right now it says, today Lee ran a mile in 9 minutes and 56 seconds. She only runs once a week at her community soccer league. Her goal is to run around her neighborhood with her friends from school so she can run faster while playing soccer. So it still isn't as detailed as I would like it to do, but at least we can cover where the progress will happen and why she's running faster. She wants to be faster. She wants to be faster in soccer. Our next part is measurable. So we have our updated goal at the top, and so now we're going to add a couple more questions to make it more measurable. So thinking about, how can Lee track her progress and measure the outcome of her goal? So thinking about, how is Lee going to know she's running faster? Or how will she know how fast she wants to run? How do we know actually improving her times rather than just running around? The next one is, how will you know when your goal is accomplished? So then knowing when you can abide by her work. And the third one is, if possible, how can your results be measured by qualities? Including a quantity about how many, how much, etc. So we're looking here for some numbers to add to Lee's goal. So we added, after she mentioned she wanted to run faster while playing soccer, she will track her progress on her phone every time she runs. When she is able to run a mile between 8 minutes and 8 minutes and 30 seconds consistently, she will have accomplished her goal. We is a lot more for sure. So she wants to be able to run between 8 minutes consistently, and she's going to track progress on her phone. Plausible and easier to. This is attainable. So now to add to our tiny paragraph already forming, is the goal reasonable and justified to accomplish this goal given any other condition? Everyone involved agree that the goal is appropriate. We haven't these three questions yet for this. Mentioned her tracking her progress on her phone, documenting her times to know she's accomplished her goal when she gets between 8 minutes, 8.5 minutes. We have added, since she only has soccer times per week, she has towards this goal with the support of her friends, coach about different ideas for training. So during this extra chunk we've added, that time, she has enough time to practice, so she'll be able to dedicate more time towards her goal. And she's also talked to her friends and her soccer coach about different ideas for training. It's important that there are people involved with her goal, and that can help support her for sure. And her talking to her soccer coach about different ideas for training will ensure that her goal is something attainable and something that's appropriate for her goals, for her soccer goals, I suppose. So next we have our relevant. So thinking about the paragraph we just created at the top, which is growing and growing, is this goal worthwhile and will it meet your needs? I definitely think that by adding different facets to this goal, such as Lee talking to her soccer coach, Lee getting her friends involved with running around the neighborhood, and making sure she's documenting her times to really motivate herself to keep going, it seems like it's going to meet her needs for sure. How is your goal consistent with other goals you have established, and how does the goal fit with your immediate and long-term plans? So at the bottom of the screen, you can see the part in blue is the new part. So not only does Lee want to run fast while playing soccer, but Lee is interested in joining her high school soccer team and wants to make sure she'll be fast enough to be able to make the team and play throughout high school. So this adds the relevancy for Lee for her goal. Before it just said she just wanted to be faster, which is, like, I guess, a fine goal, but it's really good to have an actual thing that will make her want to follow through on her goal. So adding this to all of her progress for her running, such as documenting her times on her phone, talking to her coach, running with friends, these will all help her really, really make sure that she's really progressing through her goal quickly and effectively. Finally, time-bound, my favorite. So thinking about, is there a specific date by which your goal needs to be completed? Is there a time frame during which you have to work on this goal? And is there an outward deadline within which your goal fits, or is there flexibility that will allow the time frame to be determined by you? So you can see in the blue, we've added a couple more chunks to her goal. So her new goal is to run for 3 miles around her neighborhood with her friends at least 4 times per week. So we're adding a new numerical quality to what she's doing to make sure it's something you can easily document, easily know every week if you're accomplishing your goals. And at the end it says, in terms of the outward deadline, the day for soccer tryouts is August 1st. So Lee has 2 months to train to get as close to her goal as possible. She will continue to train after tryouts and to keep her speed up. So not only will she be running 3 miles 4 times per week, but she has a for sure date by the time she's done, which is August 1st. So she knows that her time frame is 2 months, and that for her, unfortunately, her date to have her running completed is August 1st. So it's kind of a hard deadline, but at least she has 2 months to get towards that. All right, so starting from our old goal was today Lee ran a mile in 9 minutes and 56 seconds. She only runs once a week at her community soccer league, and she wants to run faster. So we've transformed this regular goal into a SMART goal. Our SMART goal now is today Lee ran a mile in 9 minutes and 56 seconds. She only runs once a week at her community soccer league. Her goal is to run for 3 miles around her neighborhood with her friends from school at least 4 times per week so she can run faster while playing soccer. Lee is interested in joining her high school soccer team and wants to make sure she'll be fast enough to be able to make the team and play throughout high school. She will track her progress on her phone and document her times every time she runs. Once she is able to run a mile between 8 minutes and 8 minutes and 30 seconds consistently, she will have accomplished her goal. Since she only has soccer 3 times per week, she has time to dedicate towards this goal with the support of her friends and has talked to her soccer coach about different ideas for training. The day for soccer tryouts is August 1st, so Lee has 2 months to train to get as close to her speed as possible, her goal as possible. She will continue to train after tryouts to keep her speed up. So as you can see, the second goal is much longer and much more detailed. I definitely think I was definitely a lot more wordy when creating this goal, but it's easier to create a SMART goal that's not as wordy and long for sure. But as you can see in here, there's every aspect of a SMART goal. It is specific. We know exactly why she is going through this goal for her high school soccer team tryouts. It is measurable, so we have a lot of times in here. We have dates we want this done. We have everything ready for that kind of thing. It is attainable, and also it's an attainable in the fact that she knows exactly how much she has to work out. It is reasonable enough to be accomplished within the time frame. She has 2 months to drop a minute and some seconds. And she has the support of her coach and her friends, which means they both agree that it's attainable and applicable towards what she's doing. We've got relevancy in terms of the goal is worthwhile to her because she wants to be faster to be on her high school soccer team. And it's consistent with her other goals she's done because speed will help on her soccer. And all. goals. SMART goals are a way for all of us to be able to really intentionally set goals. Like I said before, I think goals have the tendency to sometimes not have enough detail, so it's hard to actually follow through with them. But by following the specific, measurable, attainable, relevant, and time-bound parts of SMART goals, we're able to really detail every aspect when thinking about how to make a goal as powerful as possible. I encourage all of you to start thinking about not only developing SMART goals as a whole, but also looking into short-term SMART goals and long-term SMART goals, and how they're different, how they're the same for you. I know for a fact that it's good to have a combination of both types of goals and be working on things simultaneously and hoping that they're relevant and they're connected somehow. So if you have any other questions about SMART goals or any other professional development offerings, my name is Mary Catherine Tran, mtran@nylc.org. I also encourage you to check out the other webinars we have available on YouTube. There should be a playlist. We have things from self-care and organization from our YAC members, Ananya and Minu. We have some fundraising webinars, and we also have webinars based on reflection. We'll have one next week on approaching higher officials and being able to have good conversations. So I hope to see you there. Thank you.